Hello, I'm Erik Roby.
And I'm Kristin Lagana. Welcome to Anne Arundel County Week in Review. Today we'll jump into the time machine to look at a skirmish that happened in Tracy's Landing 200 years ago. And we'll give you all the tips to be ready for Election Day. But first, making headlines. We want to start by extending our deepest condolences to the family of Matthew Morrow today. The 21-year-old former quarterback from Northeast High School was shot and killed in what his friends say was a senseless act of violence. Morrow and his friend Darren Costa were apparently shooing away partygoers from a party that had just ended down the street from Morrow's house when someone opened fire on both of them. Morrow was hit in the chest and Costa is recovering from a gunshot to his arm. In an interview with the Maryland Gazette, Costa said he and his friend did absolutely nothing to provoke the attackers. Shortly after the incident, police arrested two 18-year-olds. They are Ronald Lee McLeod of Columbia and Daniel Alex Savage of Glen Burnie. Both are charged with first-degree murder and first-degree assault. McLeod was charged with using a handgun in a violent crime. We want to send our best wishes to the Green Haven community as it comes to grips with this terrible tragedy and encourage anyone with information about this case to please call the homicide unit at 410-222-3548.
Well, I tell you, Kristin, you just hate to hear about these pointless acts of tragedy. This was a good kid who had his whole life ahead of him, and even the two suspects, if they're found guilty, have pretty much thrown away their lives as well forever. It's very sad, and folks, we'll be sure to keep you updated about this case as more details come in. Now let's turn to another story, which is Election Day. We've been reminding you of this important deadline for the last few weeks. Well, registration is now closed, but you can still volunteer to serve as an election judge. And next week, you can go out and early vote. You can do it without standing in all those long lines that'll come this November. Early voting is from Saturday, October 27th to Thursday, November 1st. Of course, you can do it the old-fashioned way and come out to your polling place on Election Day, which is November 6th. Now, this year is going to be a big one, so be sure to do your research. Not only will you be choosing the next president, but you'll also be deciding on issues such as casino expansion, gay marriage, in-state tuition for immigrants, and a host of local ballot questions. So do this now. Hit the pause button on your TV and go to www.aacounty.org. We have big old banners at the top of the page that will direct you where to go. You can very easily find a sample ballot, early voting locations, and information about how to be an election judge. Don't wait, folks. This stuff is very important. You might want to print out that ballot and fill it out so you can bring it with you and you can breeze right through those lines on Election Day or when you're early voting, Kristin.
I know. I plan on doing the early voting.
Because you're punctual and you like to do things
I am so punctual.
Ahead of schedule. You've always been. That's what your father tells me. You've always done things ahead of schedule.
When did you talk to my father?
Papa Lagana and I, we talk all the time.
Oh, good Lord. Well, have you ever heard of the old political saying, Tippy Canoe and Tyler too?
I'm old, but that sounds really old.
Oh, come on, Eric. William Henry Harrison and Martin Van Buren.
That's real old.
1840.
That's real old.
Really catchy election song. I don't know why they don't do election songs today. I mean, we could have Jay-Z doing an Obama song.
Yeah.
Anyway, Chuck, do you have the song? Let's hit it.
Is the ball a-rolling on for Tippy Canoe and Tyler too, for Tippy Canoe and Tyler
Oh,
too. And
that
when
is kind of catchy. I mean,
Yeah,
it's no
catchy for you.
Gangnam Style, but it's not terrible. Anyway, this is the longest segue ever. What's that you said? Canoes?
I didn't say anything. Why are you putting words into my mouth?
Canoes. Carolyn Ryan is at it with Jug Bay to talk about canoes. Eric and Carolyn, what have you got out there?
Well, we're down in beautiful South County today with the ribbon cutting and dedication of the new canoe dock here at Wooten's Landing Wetland Park. And I'm joined by Chris Swarth from our Jug Bay Wetland Sanctuary, Jan Lehman, who's with the Harwood Civic Association, and Mike Lofton, who is with the Public Water Access Group. So thank you all for being on the show today. Chris, tell us a little bit about how this canoe dock came to be here.
Great. The County Rec and Park Department was approached by the Harwood Civic Association and other interested citizens with their desire to have a boat ramp here so that it would be easy to get a canoe or a kayak in the water without slipping and sliding through the mud and capsizing on your way in or out. So 2 years ago, I approached the Boating Administrative Services of the State Department of Natural Resources because we had learned that they had grants available to counties to improve water access. So over the next year and a half we submitted 2 grant proposals. They were accepted, and we received a total of $10,000, which was not quite the entire cost of the canoe dock, but probably 3/4. And with additional funding from Jan and the Harwood Civic Association to a donation that they made, we were able to put together all the funding we needed to work with a contractor to produce the dock and get it in place. It was a two-step operation. The first step was purchasing the dock, and the second step was installing the poles, which was done by a dock installation company from Annapolis. And so the dock has now been in place for a couple of months, and it's being used, and we hope it'll be used a lot more into the future.
Great, great. Now, Jan, Chris did say you're with the Harwood Civic Association, helped out with the funding for this, and I know that you were also a little bit of the squeaky wheel that really got this thing in motion. So tell us a little bit about your role.
Well, about 2 years ago, and it seems so long ago that I can't even remember how it began, but we got to be talking about activities and recreational facilities in Harwood. And I came down to Wooten's Landing because I didn't know anything about it, and I live just 2 miles down the road, so it was kind of sad that I didn't know. And I walked the property, and I came down here to the water, and I said, well, this is on the car top boat trail. It's the county says this is a launch site, but it's not very user-friendly, so I started asking questions and calling people, and I got positive interest. Everyone was interested, but it just took a little while for the cogs to come together and things to dig in. But as I mentioned before, it's just everything that I hoped it would be. It's a beautiful site. I mean, look at it. It's perfect, and the materials are solid, and it's going to last for a long time, I hope. And we're going to advertise it in the Harwood Civic Association newsletter. We're going to have a picture, and we're going to encourage people to come and use it.
Great. Now, public water access is huge, and we have so much water here in Anne Arundel County, but it is hard to get to it. So, Mike, you were with the public water access group, and so tell us a little bit about that.
Well, that's a group, I think really a citizen-inspired group who have come face-to-face with situations like this here and all over the county, and kind of wondered and been disappointed at the difficulty in getting to the water, whether it's putting a boat in, whether it's walking on the beach, whether it's letting your kids play in the sand. These are hard things to do that shouldn't be so hard. And you all have probably seen the figures. The Park Service says about 2% of the Chesapeake Bay shoreline is available to the public. 98% is closed, roughly a gated community, I call it. And this proves that we here in Anne Arundel County, with a good working partnership between the public sector and the Rec and Parks people, and interested and spirited citizens like Jan, can improve this situation. That's really what the Water Access Committee is about, is pursuing dramatically improved public access here and elsewhere around the county in a wide variety of uses to respond to citizen interest. And I'm very encouraged. We see things like this happening. The county executive supported funding for a boat launch ramp up in the northern end of the county, and we're going to put our shoulder to that wheel. So we're going to make a big improvement here, and more people are going to fall in love with this bay, and we're going to clean it up. Yeah. That's what this is about.
Yeah. Well, I don't think have any shortage of people who are in love with the bay, but like you said, just getting access to it. So you can come on down here. We're down in Harwood. You can actually go to our website, www.aacounty.org/recparks. Click on parks, go to Jug Bay Wetland Sanctuary, and get all the contact information on how you can get down here to this fabulous canoe dock. Thank you all for being on the show. Back to you in the studio.
Thanks, Carolyn. We better get down to Jug Bay before it gets too cold.
Well, that last segment, I mean, I thought I was seeing Paula Abdul. Remember Paula Abdul when she did American Idol?
Yes.
Like, and she would just totally go off script and just be whatever she was going to say. I think, ladies and gentlemen, we have Weekend Review's Paula Abdul here today.
Yay, 2 steps forward.
Because, I saw that music that you were jamming to.
It was awesome.
I don't know about
Martin Van
awesome.
Buren in the house.
I don't know about awesome. Martin Van Buren in the house. Yeah, that's all the cool kids are saying it nowadays. Well, Kristin, I got to say, bringing up an interesting election, because Van Buren served in his first term during the Depression and just couldn't win a second term because of the economy, or maybe it was that song.
Sounds awesome.
But let's go even further back in time to the days where the British were marching to burn down Washington. Bea Poulin was there. No, I'm just kidding. She wasn't really there, but Bea Poulin is there right now in Tracy's Landing. at one of the locations where fighting broke out 200, that's right, 200 years ago. Bea.
Well, hello. I'm here in Tracy's Landing, just west of Deal, Maryland, to talk about an event that's coming up on October 27th that will commemorate a battle that took place over 198 years ago here in Tracy's Landing. I'm here with Robin Gross and Ruth Hazen, members of the Deal Area Historical Society. Welcome, ladies, and thank you for joining me.
Thank you.
Now, Robin, you contacted me about this event, and it's all a buzz, the War of 1812. But few of us think about the War of 1812 in South County. What is special about what happened here?
On October 27th, 1814, about 250 to 300 British soldiers landed, burned 3 farms, burned a tobacco warehouse, and pretty much created havoc down here, and we were only defended by a very small handful of militia members. And it's something most people down here don't know anything about. We were very excited when we heard this story, and we want to pass this information on to the local residents and anyone who's interested in the bicentennial.
Now, if we look around, Ruth, this is a very well-developed marina, and there are several hundred, maybe a couple thousand boats here. Some different operations, commercial operations, and behind us is a little village of homes and schoolhouses and various buildings that the owner has collected to place here. And I understand the Deal Area Historic Society is in charge of maintaining them.
That's correct.
And this is the site of your event on October 27th.
Yes, it is. And people will be parking beyond the village. You can see the fence out here. And we will be having the event on the grounds of St. Mark's and also at the historic village. We'll have buildings open, we'll have a skirmish out there in the field, and we will have people with tables set up to inform and entertain you.
So this event is created to inform the public, also to educate our local citizens about the events that took place here nearly 200 years ago. And if we look at the event and what we know about those citizens, they're still here today. Some of those families, can you give us an idea of who they were?
Well, we have a list of militia names, and it was really just like reading the phone book. Families have been here for 200 years or more. Franklin's, Cheneys, Nutwells, Deals, you name it. If you were here many, many years, you probably had an ancestor who fought in the South County militias.
And what is the society interested in with these families? Collecting information about them or identifying people who are still here? What is the purpose of that?
We've been attempting to identify direct descendants of these militias, and we are going to, as part of our ceremony, we're going to recognize these people, tell about their ancestors' military service, and just a little biography of information that we have on them. And we hope to photograph these people so that we will have a record. And we're still looking. There are a number of people who have contacted me who I'm sure think they might be descendants, but just really haven't quite made the connection with their family yet.
If people think they have family history that lends itself to being part of this, they should contact you, or?
That's correct.
And how do they get a hold of you, Ruth?
Well, they can call me 410-867-4911, or they can send an email, ruth.hazen@dahs.us.
And that's the website also for the Deal Area Historic Society.
The Deal Area Historic Society website is www.dahs.us.
Okay. So we have, was looking at your list of the militia members, and it goes A through Z, just like you said, the phone book. The names are still here. Many of them are prominent people in the area, and we would encourage everybody to come out for the October 27th event. It's going to be a fun day for the family. What else is happening on that day?
On that day, we're trying to let their imaginations take them back 200 years. And we will have music from that period, we'll have games from that period, we will have displays of the homes that were here or the roads that were here that are still here. We'll have a section to deal with the militia and the families and trying to help people make that connection. The village itself will be open as well, which of course is from a different time period. The village is more around the turn of the century of 1900, but it still will be open. We'll have reenactors who will be glad to talk to anyone about the fighting experience and what they set up in order to prepare for fighting. We'll have a reenactment demonstration, and we will have a commemoration ceremony to honor those family members that are here, and to talk about the National Park Service sign that unfortunately will not be in place October 27th, but it will be in place in February or March of next year.
Now, the National Park sign is unusual, isn't it, for this part of the county? I mean, do we have another federal indicator of something important that happened?
Well, this will be part of the Star Spangled Trail that I believe the state is working on, and they are going to be drawing a map and showing us on the map, and they will be putting our information on their website once the sign has been installed.
Well, this is really interesting historical information for all of us who live in South County and who live in Anne Arundel County. We hope that you will take the opportunity to check this event out. It sounds like a very friendly, family-free event on a Saturday in October. Couldn't be a better time. October 27th from 11 to 4 o'clock. And the address is 389 Deal Road here in Tracy's Landing. So check it out. And signing off from Tracy's Landing, this is Bea Poulin.
Thanks, Bea. We love history on this show, and we love to learn. We love
certainly
to teach.
do.
We love to teach. You teach me new things.
I learned so much from you, Erik.
I know, and I learned about app stores. I know where app stores are now.
I'm trying to get Erik with the times here.
Yeah, app stores.
He's got the oldest cell phone I've ever seen.
They're in the clouds, I hear.
All right, Zach Morris. Now, folks, this wouldn't be Week in Review if we didn't give you a healthy dose of animal stories. Last week, Animal Control had an adoption drive, and guess how many pets got adopted, Erik?
27.
Oh, you're pretty close, 31.
Oh, 4 off.
And can you guess the breakdown?
30 cats and 1 dog.
Oh, close. It was 12 dogs, 18 cats, and you guessed it, 1 rat. No, you didn't really guess 1 rat. You would have gotten the bonus points, though. Animal Control wants to thank everyone who came out for the adopt-a-thon, as well as the volunteers, the alarmers for providing refreshments, and the staff who made it all happen. We have to admit we're a little jealous of Animal Control. I mean, first of all, they get to play with dogs and cats all day, but they're also so popular. Erik, they're approaching 5,000 likes on Facebook.
5,000?
5,000, and
wow.
You can check out their page by clicking the link on the right side of our page. If you are watching the show coming from their page, well, give us a like.
Yeah, go ahead and do that. Folks, there's more Week in Review to come. Check out our community calendar for more upcoming events around your county. We'll be right back.
Go ahead and do that.
Go ahead and do that.
If you're looking for a new pet that you can cherish every day, consider adopting from a shelter. Shelters are full of healthy, loyal, fun, loving pets, eager to become a part of your family. A person is the best thing to happen to a shelter pet, so bring home your new buddy today. To find out more, you can visit theshelterpetproject.org.
Welcome back. On October 16, 2012, at approximately 7:30 p.m., members of the Eastern District's Tactical Patrol Unit conducted a traffic stop on Hospital Drive near Crane Highway. Joining us now is Public Information Officer Justin Mulcahy, who has further details on the investigation. Justin.
When contact was made with that driver, detectives smelled a strong odor of suspected marijuana emanating from the vehicle. A subsequent search was conducted, resulting in the seizure of 45.2 grams of marijuana with an estimated street value of $900, along with related drug paraphernalia and $500 in cash. The driver was arrested and charged accordingly with various narcotics charges. That suspect was Thomas Leo Cope, age 31, of Millington, Maryland, on the Eastern Shore. We're going to move on now to our second incident. That one took place on October 17th around 10 in the evening. That's when officers from the Eastern District responded to the Kentucky Fried Chicken, which is located in the 8000 block of Veterans Highway in Millersville, for a report of a robbery of that business. Officers arrived on scene. They spoke with store employees who relayed that two male suspects entered the business, demanded money, and ultimately took an undisclosed amount of money before fleeing the business. During the incident, one suspect implied that he was in possession of a weapon. Several officers and a canine unit canvassed the area but were unable to locate the suspects, being described as two black males in their 20s wearing hoodies and baggy jeans. Folks, as always, if you have any information on the crimes or suspects mentioned on the show, don't hesitate to email or text your tip to Metro Crime Stoppers. You can also call 24 hours a day, toll free at 1-866-7-LOCK-UP. To text message, text MCS plus your message to crimes. That's 274-637. You can also visit the website at www.metrocrimestoppers.net. As always, those phone calls are not recorded, callers remain anonymous, and you might be eligible for a cash reward of up to $2,000. Back to you.
Thanks, Justin.
This week, 11 people were hospitalized after being involved in a multi-vehicle accident in the western area of the county. And in a separate incident, another person was injured in a motor vehicle collision accident in the eastern portion of the county. With me now to tell us more about these incidents is Division Chief Michael Cox of the Anne Arundel County Fire Department. Chief.
Thanks, Kristin. The first incident occurred around 7:30 a.m. on Tuesday, October the 16th, 2012, when Anne Arundel County firefighters responded to a reported motor vehicle collision in the area of Route 3 and Defense Highway in the Crofton area of the county. The first unit to arrive on the scene reported a 7-car multi-vehicle accident, with one vehicle reported to be on fire. In all, 11 people were injured as a result of the incident. 2 patients suffered serious but non-life-threatening injuries. They were transported to the Prince George Trauma Center in Cheverly, Maryland via ground ambulance. 9 other people involved in the accident suffered minor injuries and were all transported to local hospitals in Bowie, Annapolis, and Glen Burnie. In another incident, Anne Arundel County firefighters also responded to a reported motor vehicle collision in the Orchard Beach area just before 7 p.m. on Tuesday, October 16th. This incident occurred in the area of Fort Smallwood Road and Solly Road. The first units to arrive at this scene reported a motor vehicle collision involving a motorcycle. There was one patient injured in this incident. The patient, a 46-year-old male, suffered life-threatening injuries. He was transported Priority 1 to the University of Maryland's R. Adams Cowley Shock Trauma Center in Baltimore via ground ambulance. Kristin?
Thanks, Chief. County law enforcement officials are investigating the cause of both of these incidents.
Well, folks, if you haven't noticed, by turning on those heat warmers in the morning in your car or turning up and blasting the heat on the way to work, it's getting cold out there. And there are certainly folks out there who aren't fortunate enough to have those amenities, and they are in need of warm clothes. So where should you bring your donations, you ask? Mark Chang has the answers for us in this week's Community Spotlight. Mark.
Thanks to both of you in the studio. Well, I'll tell you what, it's getting a little bit chillier out there in the weather, and it's going to be winter's right upon us, or right around the corner. And so we got a great event that's coming up that the Northern Anne Arundel County Chamber of Commerce and HOPE, which is based out of Linthicum, a nonprofit organization that helps out folks who are homeless and who need additional assistance, are having a great event coming up. It's the 4th annual Take a Bite Out of the Cold. And first of all, I'd like to start off with Leo Zahusin, who is the founder of HOPE. And Leo, it's always good to see you.
Good to see you.
And Leo, could you tell the viewers out there who don't know about HOPE, could you tell us about HOPE?
Well, HOPE is a nonprofit organization made up primarily of all volunteers that serves needy families and children or assists them in the day-to-day struggles that they face with furniture, clothing, and other household accessories.
Okay, great. And how can viewers out there who will be interested in helping out get involved?
If you're interested in getting involved, our website is hopeforall.us, and our phone number is 410-766-0372.
Okay, great. Thanks a lot, Leo. I really appreciate it. And thanks for all the work that you do all over the county. And now let's shift over to Fran Schmidt, who's the CEO of the Northern Anne Arundel County Chamber of Commerce. And you do a lot of great social services event to help out the folks in the county. And could you tell us about this annual event that's coming up?
Well, we are so happy to partner with Leo and with Hope for All, because there are so many disadvantaged people in our community, and there are children that are going to school that don't have appropriate winter clothing, and we have people in the community. So this is a great way for the business community to get everyone involved. We're asking everybody to go through your closets, clean out those coats that you're not wearing anymore, gloves, hats, blankets. We need warm outerwear. We don't really need clothing at this time, but we do need outerwear, coats, gloves, hats, scarves, all of those things that will help somebody stay warm.
Okay, great. And what day is the event and where is it?
The event is Saturday, October the 27th. We're going to be in the Glen Burnie Town Center, and that's right off B&A Boulevard and Route 2. We'll be there from 10 in the morning till 2 in the afternoon. You can pull your cars into the town center. Stop at the curb. We'll have people there that will come over to your car, take the bags or your items out of the car for you, and then we'll take them over, and they'll be sorted by Hope for All, and they'll be used for people in our community.
Great. Thank you so much for leading the business community in this great effort to help out the folks who are disadvantaged in our county. And if they want more information about the Chamber, get in contact with you. How can they reach you?
Absolutely. Reach me at the Chamber of Commerce, www.naccc.com, or give us a call, 410-766-8282.
Awesome. Thanks a lot, Fran. I really appreciate it. And thanks a lot, Leo. It's really great to have both of you all partner up in this great event. So it's a wonderful event. It's a great way to help out the folks that are disadvantaged in the county. So mark your calendars, Saturday, October 27th. Come on by to the Glen Burnie Town Center. And if there's any winter clothing that you'll be able to donate, I know they would really appreciate it. Reporting from Linthicum with Hope and the Northern Anne Arundel County Chamber of Commerce. Back to you in the studio.
Thanks, Mark. Let's be sure to get out there and help other families. Helping people is a great thing to do, and it's certainly a great cause.
And speaking of good causes, how about helping people with disabilities? Mary Felter has information on this year's Disability Awareness Day. Mary?
Thank you. Today I'm visiting with Ginger Palmer, who is the chairman of the Commission on Disability Issues in Anne Arundel County. We're in her home, and I want to say welcome, Ginger. Thanks for coming on the program.
Thank you, Mary. It's my pleasure.
I wanted to interview you for two reasons. I wanted people to know a little bit more about the Commission on Disability Issues and what you all do. And secondly, you have a very big event coming up. I think it's your biggest of the year, and it is the Disability Awareness Day. So let's tell our viewers first, what is the Commission and what do you all do?
Certainly. The Commission was established by the county in 1995. And since that time, we promote disability awareness. We advise the county executive and the county council on disability policy and legislative issues concerning individuals with disabilities to enhance their lives. We have 21 voting members, and we are represented by more than 15 county and state agencies.
That's quite a big responsibility to advise the county executive and the county council on these matters. I know that you are putting out some brochures on transportation and parking.
Yes, we put out the brochures, and we've just developed a new brochure that is for businesses on parking and having building accessibility. And we plan to put them out to the Chamber of Commerce for the county, and then they will be out at our event. That'll be the first posting.
The big event that's coming up is called Disability Awareness Day, and I think this is the 5th year you've been at Westfield Mall. Tell people when it's going to be happening.
Yes, Disability Awareness Day is going to be on Saturday, October 27th from 1 to 4 p.m. at the Westfield Annapolis Mall in the atrium near the Crate and Barrel.
And the purpose of the day is to recognize individuals who have done outstanding work in the field of disabilities.
That is correct. October is Disability Awareness Month and National Disability Employment Awareness Month. And we want to recognize those employers that employ individuals with disabilities and or make accommodations and make their businesses accessible to the individuals.
One of the persons that you're going to be honoring is a special needs architect who has worked to make buildings more accessible for people, and her name is?
Her name is Catherine Purple Cherry, and she will receive our highest award on Disability Awareness Day, and that is the honoree for the day.
She's done a lot of work. I've written down some of the things that she's worked on. She's worked on a vocational center for opportunity builders, a rehabilitation center for Arundel Lodge, a duplex housing for ARC of the Central Chesapeake, a vocational center and major renovation of existing facilities for the Providence Center, and classroom renovations at the Summit School, and designed multiple other projects in other states. So I understand she also has other articles that she's written in various professional publications as well.
Yes, that's correct. And she did receive an honor from the American Institute of Architects for her work at the Opportunity Builders Incorporated here in Maryland.
And who else are you going to be honoring? I understand you have a Disability Leadership Award you'll be giving.
Yes, Mary. We will be honoring Ms. Mary Stoops, known as Mimi, and Mimi is the program manager for disability support services at the Anne Arundel Community College.
What are some of the things she's done with that program, do you know?
She is known for her positive and professional attitude, often under stressful conditions, and making sure that the individuals receive reasonable and accessible accommodations, and her commitments to the students go a very, very long way.
So you also are going to be representing or giving out awards, recognizing is the word I really should have used, the businesses in the area who have done things for individuals with disabilities. I understand these nominations came from people in response to announcements that were put in the newspaper. People did respond, and other people with disabilities have sent in information on people they wanted to recognize.
That's correct. We have about 15 to 20 nominations, awards that we will be giving out that we received from local businesses or individuals that have frequented the businesses and they've seen the individuals working and wanted to commemorate or commend the businesses for giving these individuals a chance.
Besides the awards, I understand you have a lot of exhibitors that are going to be at the event. What do you have planned there?
We have 36 exhibitors who will come in, and they will have their information and their services that they provide to individuals. And it's in a very casual atmosphere, and that they can talk to and see the different services that they have available.
I understand Nancy Patterson, who's a former commissioner on the Commission for Disability Issues, she's going to bring her dog mailer so people can see what Canine Companions for Independence can do as well.
That's correct. Canine Companions for Independence there'll be an exhibitor as well as being a demonstrator. And Nancy and Mahler will demonstrate what it is that their service dogs do. These dogs work with individuals that are other than blindness. So anybody with a disability other than blindness, Canine pairs you up with a dog.
I've seen that demonstration. It's really remarkable what a dog can do, and I think all of us are impressed with their work. So I will mention that Canine Companions for Independence are going to be the beneficiary of a fundraiser that's being held down at the South County Senior Center. So if anyone is interested, they can call the center and find out more information about that. I really appreciate your information. I want to mention that there is a phone number people can call to arrange van service, transportation, to make it possible to attend the day. They do need to call a couple of days in advance so that they can arrange that. I want to give that number. It's 410-222-4826. And there's another number that you can call if you want more information on the American with Disabilities Act. And that would be the Office of the Department of Aging and Disabilities, and that number is 410-222-4464. I want to mention the date again for Ginger to make sure people know that it's Saturday, October 27th, 1 to 4 p.m. at Westfield Annapolis Mall, right next to Crate and Barrel. And we hope to see you there.
Yes, thank you. We're looking forward to it, and hope to have many individuals touched by the information that's being shown.
Thanks so much for coming on the program. We appreciate it very much, Ginger.
Thank you, Mary.
This is Mary Felter, Public Information Officer for Anne Arundel County Department of Aging and Disabilities, and you're watching a Week in Review. Thank you. Back to the studio.
Thanks, Mary. Again, thanks to Westfield Annapolis Mall for hosting the event for yet another year, and congratulations to the leaders in the community for being honored.
You know, Kristin, we talk about a lot of things, helping people and giving back and doing good things to the community. And I try to save as much money as I can. I'm a saver. I don't know
I need
if
some
you're
tips
a spender.
I'm certainly a spender.
I heard something recently about, I'm just such a big saver, but I look for, not only looking for the deals, not only waiting for something to go down $5 so you can buy it, but even something like gas. I'll drive around. If I see gas for $3.55, I think, I'm going to go to the next place, and it's going to be $3.51. And I realize I'm only saving about 80 cents. But to me, I got a deal
driving around looking for another.
But what about you? Do you save your money? Do you spend your money? What do you do?
I am horrible at spending. I need to start learning about what I need to have and not just what I want.
Right.
And I spend a lot of money on gifts for weddings and showers, and I need to start sticking to the etiquette more.
And birthdays.
And birthdays.
Christmas.
I just overspend. Christmas, I'm horrible. I love giving presents to people so much. I get excited over it.
Really?
I do.
What?
I'm sorry you haven't gotten a present yet.
Did it go under the table?
Sorry, Eric. Yeah.
Yeah.
But,
she likes giving gifts so much.
I haven't given any to you.
That I get nothing.
tend to overspend, but as far as clothing goes, I will not buy something unless it's on sale, because especially with the way that the economy has gone in the last several years,
That's good.
all of the stores I've noticed have a trend of just the way they mark down. It's super quick. You go through one sale, they might put it back at regular price for a couple of days, and then the next sale it's even cheaper. So I just wait until I feel like it's in that cycle, and then I buy the clothes.
But what if you miss the cycle? What if you?
Then I don't need
What
it.
if you buy too high?
I have
Before you're gonna buy,
terrible
it's gonna go
buyer's
down.
remorse, Eric. When people go shopping with me, I end up with an entire like shopping bag full of stuff. I go home.
So you're one of these people that take everything back.
I do. I do. I take things back.
Folks, if you work at the Gap, if you work at JCPenney,
don't let me in your store.
And you see this one,
kick me out.
Don't let her buy anything.
I'm
it's coming
sorry. I'm sorry. But yes, I do try to look for deals. I'm not as thrifty as you with driving around and looking for.
Well, you know what else too? You go to a fast food restaurant. People say, "Oh, give me that value meal. I get the French fries. I get the soda. I get the
it's a
burger."
value.
It's not a value.
It's not?
Do the math. I drink water. I don't drink soda. So if I'm going to get that, give me a burger off the $1 menu and a small fry, and where it costs somebody else $6.59, it costs me $2.50.
All right, that
I
makes
just
sense.
saved
That makes
$4.
sense. I should start taking more advantage of
Here's
a
another one.
dollar menu.
Donuts. Go look at those donuts. Sometimes you can buy donuts for 10 cents for a donut hole, but they're going to sell you a dozen of them for $2. Well, geez, give me 10 donut holes for $1, not a dozen of them for $2. You just got to watch these
really
things.
thought about this, Eric.
You got to think about it. You got to get the deals out there.
I will say the other thing I do take advantage of is when stores that I frequent have a savings club, like Safeway. I'll buy my groceries there, and I'm a Safeway club holder, card holder, and that means that at the end I get to watch all of the savings, all that money drop because I scan my card. And our producer Chuck just told me about this really great app you can get on your phone where you can get even more savings through your Safeway card.
You just go to the App Store.
You go to the
and buy
App
it.
Store.
They're in your
Eric.
mall.
I've tried to tell you about where the App Store is. It's not at the mall.
It's at the mall, folks. It's at the mall. We're going to do a whole show on that next time. So
Maybe we should get someone who's really good at thrifty tips
That'd be
to
a
come
great
in
idea.
here. Someone who's an
That'd
actual
be
savings
wonderful.
analyst.
We're going to get it. A savings analyst. Is
Yeah.
that really a job?
Yeah. Not my job. Definitely.
Not your job.
No.
Well, folks, that wraps up this week's edition of Week in Review. You can watch this episode online anytime at www.aacounty.org. Archive episodes are always available at blip.tv and on YouTube. You can also subscribe to the free, yes, free, Kristin, video podcast at iTunes or like us.
Go ahead and do
on
that.
Facebook at Arundel TV. As she takes my lines, please tune in again next week for more news and highlights from around
the county.
Your county.
Your county.
Say it right, Lagana. We'll see you next time.
Go ahead and do that.
Oh, who has heard the great commotion, motion, all the country through? It is the ball a-rolling on for Tippecanoe and Tyler too, for Tippecanoe and Tyler too. And with them will be little Dan is a used-up man, and with them will be